You didn't click this by accident. Out of everything you could be watching right now, you ended up here. And that should make you pause. Because what if this moment isn't random? What if every delay you went through, every frustration, every silent prayer was leading you here? Think about it. There were nights you felt lost, days you questioned your worth, moments you almost gave up, but didn't. And now, something inside you feels different, like something is about to change. You can't explain it, but you feel it. That pressure, that shift, that quiet voice telling you, this is it. Not next year, not someday. Now, because when Allah decides your moment, it doesn't come with a warning. It comes suddenly, powerfully, in a way that changes everything. And if you ignore it, you might miss the very thing you've been praying for. So, don't scroll away, because what you're about to hear might be the exact message Allah wanted you to find today. You thought you were late. Watching others move ahead made you question yourself in silence. Why not me? The waiting felt heavy, almost painful. But what you don't see is this: you're not late, you're being prepared. Allah doesn't move on your timeline. What you call ready is often just desire, but Allah builds depth. Your heart, your patience, your mindset, everything is being shaped for something bigger than you realize. If it came earlier, it might have broken you instead of building you. Every delay had a purpose. Every moment of waiting was changing you into someone stronger, wiser, more capable. While you felt stuck, things were being arranged behind the scenes: opportunities, people, timing. So stop comparing your journey. Delay is not denial. When your moment finally arrives, you won't wish it came sooner. You'll understand. It came exactly when you were ready. You cried in silence. There were battles you fought that no one ever saw, smiles you forced, while everything inside you felt heavy. And sometimes you wondered if any of it even mattered, because when pain repeats itself, it starts to feel meaningless. But listen carefully. Allah does not waste pain. Not a single tear you hid. Not a single night you stayed strong. Not a single moment you chose patience over giving up goes unnoticed. What you felt as suffering was actually being written as strength. Because the people who shine the brightest are not the ones who had it easy. They are the ones who were tested again and again and still didn't break. Your struggle was not punishment. It was preparation. It was shaping your character, deepening your faith, building a version of you that can carry what is coming next. So don't look at your past and feel regret. Look at it and realize you survived everything that was meant to stop you. And that means something powerful is waiting ahead. Not everyone gets chosen. You may think success is random, that people just get lucky, that some are simply born with more opportunities than others. But that's not how it works. Allah does not raise people randomly. He looks deeper, beyond what people see. He sees your intentions when no one is watching. He sees your patience when no one is clapping. He sees the moments you stayed strong, even when it would have been easier to give up. And when someone carries that sincerity, that quiet strength, Allah chooses them. Because elevation is not about talent alone. It's about the heart behind it. You might feel unnoticed right now. You might feel like your efforts don't matter. But being unseen by people does not mean you are unseen by Allah. In fact, sometimes the ones who are ignored the most are the ones being prepared the most. Because when Allah decides to raise someone, no one can block it. No one can delay it. No one can take it away. So, if your time is coming, it's not luck. It's not coincidence. It's a decision made by Allah, long before you even realized it. And when that moment arrives, It will make sense why you had to go through everything you did. You thought the hardest part was the struggle, the sleepless nights, the silent pain, the moments you felt like giving up but didn't. You believed that once you finally reached success, everything would become easy, that the test would be over. But that's where most people are wrong, because the real test begins when things start going right. When the doors finally open, when people begin to notice you, when opportunities start coming your way, that is when your heart is truly tested. Will you stay the same person you were when you had nothing, or will success slowly change you? Because success has a quiet way of shifting the heart. At first, you remember Allah in every step. You make dua constantly. You stay humble, grateful, aware. But then, things become normal. The blessings that once made you cry become things you expect. The same success you once prayed for becomes something you think you earned on your own. And that's where the danger begins. Because many people pass the test of hardship, but fail the test of ease. They forget the nights they begged Allah for help. They forget how helpless they once felt. They forget that everything they have was given, not achieved alone. And slowly, without even realizing it, their connection with Allah weakens, not because they chose to leave Him, but because they stopped needing Him the way they once did. That is why success is a deeper test. It doesn't break your body, it tests your heart. It asks one simple question. Now that you have what you wanted, will you still remember the one who gave it? Because true success is not just reaching the top. It's staying connected to Allah, even when you're there. It's staying humble when people praise you. It's staying grateful when life becomes easy. It's staying aware that everything can be taken just as easily as it was given. So when your moment comes, and it will come, don't just focus on enjoying it. Protect your heart. Stay grounded. Stay grateful. Stay close to Allah. Because the real victory is not just being raised. It's being raised and not losing yourself in the process. Right before something changes, you feel it. Not outside, inside. A strange pressure begins to build. Your thoughts become heavier. Your heart feels restless, like something is about to happen, but you don't know what. And instead of feeling excited, you feel afraid. You start overthinking everything. You question your decisions. You wonder if you're really ready, or if you're about to fail. And in those moments, it's easy to think something is wrong with you, but nothing is wrong. This feeling is not weakness. It's a sign. Because every time you are about to step into a new level of your life, your comfort zone starts to break. And breaking comfort never feels peaceful. It feels uncertain. It feels unstable. It feels like you're losing control. Because, in a way, you are. You're leaving behind the version of yourself that felt safe, predictable, familiar, and stepping into something unknown. That's why fear shows up. Not to stop you, but to reveal that you are moving forward. Most people misunderstand fear. They think fear means don't go. But sometimes fear actually means this matters. Think about it. You don't feel fear doing things that don't matter to you. You don't overthink things that have no value in your life. The reason your heart is racing, the reason your mind won't stay quiet, is because something important is in front of you. Something that can change your direction, and your soul knows it, even if your mind doesn't understand it yet. That's why this moment feels so intense, because growth is not comfortable. Growth pulls you out of what you know and pushes you into what you've never experienced before. And in that space, you either move forward or you run back. Many people run. They listen to the fear and think it's a warning. They step back into what's easy, what's known, what feels safe, and, for a moment, they feel relief. but deep inside, they know they walked away from something bigger, something that could have changed their life. Don't make that mistake. Don't let fear convince you that you're not ready, because the truth is, no one ever feels fully ready. The people you admire, the ones who made bold moves, who stepped into big opportunities, they were afraid too. The difference is, they didn't stop. They understood that fear is part of the process, not the end of it. And you need to understand that too, because right now, you are standing at a point in your life where things can shift. Maybe not overnight, but soon, and the discomfort you feel is part of that shift. It's your old self resisting change. It's your mind trying to protect you from the unknown. But you were not created to stay the same. You were created to grow, to evolve, to rise. And that requires stepping into spaces that feel unfamiliar. So, instead of asking, "Why am I so scared?" ask yourself, what is this fear trying to prepare me for? Because maybe, just maybe, this feeling is not here to stop you. It's here to tell you that something bigger than you imagined is getting closer. And if you don't run from it, if you stay, if you push forward, you will look back at this exact moment and realize this wasn't fear. This was the beginning of your transformation. When Allah decides to change your life, it does not always happen the way you imagined. You think it will be slow, predictable, step by step, something you can control, something you can prepare for in a comfortable way. But Allah does not need your expectations to fulfill His plan. When He decides, things shift in ways that leave you speechless. One moment, everything feels normal, almost the same as it has always been. You're still waiting, still trying, still wondering when your life will finally move forward. And then, suddenly, something happens. It might be small on the outside, a conversation, a message, an opportunity that doesn't look like much at first, a door that opens quietly, without warning. But that one moment carries a change you cannot yet see. Because when Allah moves, He doesn't need noise. He doesn't need signs that everyone can recognize. Sometimes He changes everything. Through something so simple, you almost ignore it. And that is why many people miss their moment. Not because it didn't come, but because it didn't come the way they expected. They were waiting for something big, something obvious, something dramatic. But Allah sent something subtle, something that required attention, awareness, faith, and they overlooked it. They thought, this is nothing. But that nothing was everything. Understand this deeply. When your time comes, it may not feel like a miracle at first. It may feel like a small chance, a quiet beginning, a step that seems uncertain. But inside that moment is the power to change your entire direction. And if you hesitate too much, if you doubt too long, you might delay what was meant to elevate you. Because sometimes Allah opens a door and waits to see if you will walk through it. Not because He doesn't know what you will do, but because you need to discover who you are in that moment. Are you the person who trusts, or the person who hesitates? Are you the one who steps forward, or the one who stays behind because of fear? This is why your moment will shock you, because you expect ease. But you are given responsibility. You expect clarity, but you are given uncertainty. You expect confidence, but you are given a choice. And that choice defines everything. There will be a second where your heart beats faster, where your mind starts questioning everything. Am I ready for this? What if I fail? What if this is not right? And in that exact moment, you have to decide, because the difference between people who rise and people who stay where they are is not opportunity, it is response. Two people can be given the same chance. One moves forward despite the fear, and their life changes. The other hesitates, overthinks, delays, and watches the moment pass. Not because they were not capable, but because they were not willing to step into the unknown. And later, they look back and say, "I had a chance once." Don't let that be your story, because when Allah places an opportunity in front of you, it is not random, it is not coincidence, it is part of a plan that has been unfolding long before you understood it. Every struggle you went through, every delay you experienced, every lesson you learned, was leading to that moment, so that when it arrives, you are not the same person you used to be. You are someone who has been shaped by experience, someone who has learned patience, someone who has felt pain and still continued. And that version of you is capable, even if you don't fully believe it yet. This is another truth most people don't realize. You don't need to feel ready to be ready. Readiness is not a feeling, it is a state that Allah prepares you for, even when your emotions haven't caught up yet. That's why you can feel afraid and still be exactly where you need to be. You can feel uncertain and still be chosen for something greater, because Allah does not wait for your confidence. He creates your confidence through the process, through the steps you take after the opportunity appears, through the courage you show even when your voice is shaking. And once you step forward, things begin to unfold. Not all at once, not perfectly, but enough for you to keep going. That is how change happens. Not in one giant leap, but in one decision, followed by another and another. And suddenly, you look back and realize you are no longer in the same place. The life you once prayed for starts becoming real. The version of yourself you once imagined starts becoming visible. And it all began with one moment you almost ignored. So pay attention, because your moment may not announce itself loudly. It may come quietly, softly, almost hidden. But if you are aware, if you are present, if you are connected to Allah, you will recognize it. Not with your eyes, but with something deeper, a feeling, a pull, a sense that this matters. And when you feel that, don't run, don't overthink, don't wait for perfect clarity. Move, take the step. Trust that if Allah brought you to this moment, He will carry you through it, because He does not open doors for you just to watch you fail. He opens them to show you what you are capable of becoming. And when you finally step through, when you finally move forward despite everything inside you trying to hold you back, that is when the shock comes. Not just because your life changes, but because you realize you were always capable. You were always closer than you thought. You were always being guided, even when you felt lost. And in that realization, everything makes sense. The waiting, the pain, the confusion, all of it was leading here to a moment that didn't just change your life, but revealed who you were meant to be all along. There comes a moment in your life, not loud, not obvious, not announced to the world, but deeply real. A moment where something inside you shifts. You start to feel different. Your thinking changes. Your focus changes. Even the things that once distracted you no longer hold the same power. It's subtle at first, almost unnoticeable, but it's there. And if you pay attention, you will realize something powerful. You are not the same person anymore. This is where most people make a mistake. They keep waiting for a perfect moment, a moment where everything feels aligned, where fear disappears, where confidence is complete. But that moment never comes, because life doesn't work that way. Your time does not begin when everything is perfect. Your time begins when you decide to move despite the imperfection. And right now, whether you fully accept it or not, you are standing at that point. The point where waiting any longer is not patience anymore. It becomes hesitation, and hesitation has a cost. It slowly steals opportunities. It weakens belief. It keeps you in a place that feels safe, but leads nowhere. You tell yourself, I'll start tomorrow. I just need a little more time. I need to be more ready. But deep inside, you already know something important. You have been almost ready for a long time, and that almost is the only thing standing between you and a completely different life. Because the truth is, you don't cross into a new level of your life by feeling ready. You cross it by acting while you still feel unsure. This is where trust becomes real, not when everything is clear, but when you move forward without seeing the full path. And this is where your connection with Allah matters the most. Because when you rely only on yourself, you will always find reasons to stop. You will always find doubts. You will always find fear. But when you rely on Allah, something changes. You understand that you don't need to control everything. You don't need to have every answer. You just need to take the step and trust that He will guide the rest. And that trust is what separates those who stay stuck from those who rise. Look at your life carefully. There are moments you ignored, chances you didn't take, decisions you delayed. Not because you couldn't do them, but because you weren't sure. And now those moments are gone. But this moment is still here, right now, and it is asking you the same question again. Are you going to step forward, or are you going to stay where you are? Because staying where you are might feel comfortable, but comfort has a hidden price. It slowly limits you. It slowly convinces you that this is all you can be. It keeps you in a version of your life that feels familiar, but is far below your potential. And the longer you stay there, the harder it becomes to leave. That is why this moment matters, because it is not just about opportunity, it is about identity. It is about deciding who you are going to become. Are you the person who keeps waiting, or the person who finally moves? And understand this deeply. Your time will not wait for you forever. Opportunities come with a window, a period where they are open. And if you don't step through, they close. Not as punishment, but as part of life's flow. And when they close, you are left with a choice: regret or growth. So don't treat this moment lightly. Don't brush it aside like it's nothing, because it is not just another day. It is a turning point, a silent one, but powerful. The kind of moment that separates your past from your future. And here is the part most people don't realize. When you finally decide to move, you don't feel powerful immediately. You don't suddenly become fearless. In fact, you might feel even more uncertain, because now you are stepping into something real, something that matters. But that is exactly where transformation begins. Not in comfort, not in certainty, but in movement, in action, in choosing to go forward, even when everything inside you is questioning it. And once you do that, once you take that first step, something incredible happens. You change, not overnight, not dramatically, but gradually. You start to build confidence, not because you feel different, but because you are doing something different. And with every step, you prove something to yourself. I can do this. And that belief, that quiet, growing belief, becomes your strength. Not the loud kind, not the kind that seeks attention, but the kind that keeps you moving forward, no matter what. And this is when your life truly begins to shift, because you are no longer waiting for your time. You are living in it. You are no longer hoping for change. You are creating it. And all of this started from one decision, one moment where you chose not to stay the same. So understand this clearly. Your time is not something in the future. It is not something that will arrive one day with perfect conditions. It is here, now, in this exact moment, and the only thing left is your response. Will you ignore it, like so many times before, or will you finally accept it and step into what you were meant to become? Because if you do, If you truly move forward with trust, with courage, with intention, then, one day, you will look back at this exact moment and realize something powerful. This was it. The moment your life stopped waiting and finally began. One day, you will look back at this moment, not as just another video, not as just another message you heard and forgot, but as the moment something inside you changed, the moment you stopped doubting, stopped waiting, stopped holding yourself back, and finally decided to move. Because everything you've been through was never meant to break you. It was meant to prepare you. Every delay, every struggle, every unanswered dua was shaping you into someone ready for what's coming next. So don't ignore this feeling, that quiet pull inside you, that sense that something is shifting. That's not random. That's your moment calling you. And moments like this don't come twice. So take this seriously. Fix your intention. Strengthen your connection with Allah. Move forward, even if it feels uncomfortable, because your time is not coming. Your time is here, and what you do next will decide everything.